In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create this bar stool in Blender. Now the following video is a short clip from my full tutorial series on how to create this realistic kitchen interior. So if you'd like to check out the full course, then I'll have the product links in the description and also the link to the trailer video in the description if you'd like to check that out. But before we start the tutorial, here's a quick video about the course. In this Blender course, I will teach you photorealistic interior creation in Blender. So throughout this tutorial series, I'll show you the entire process of creating this realistic kitchen interior scene. So what will you learn in this course? You'll learn how to model to the real life world scale, how to block out interior scenes, you'll learn interior modeling like windows, cabinets, and countertops, you'll learn how to set up texture maps and edit the UV maps. You'll learn how to create basic procedural materials like brick, plastic, and metal, how to add surface imperfections to objects to add realism, how to add decals to objects within the materials, using multiple UV maps to place textures, decals, and surface imperfections. You'll learn furniture modeling like bar stools, an oven, a fridge, a microwave, and more. You'll learn object and prop modeling like mugs, plates, vases, switches, and more. And we'll be going over some compositing effects to add more realism to your render. And you can find the links to the course in the video description. So then I'll hit Shift C to center the 3D cursor, and I'll go to the add menu and I'm going to add a cylinder. Now right behind me on the add cylinder settings, I'm going to turn the vertices to 22 so that it's a bit more low poly. Now let's zoom into the object. So now I want to go into edit mode and I want to scale the cylinder way down. And actually real quick, it looks like in the outliner, the cylinder wasn't in the bar stool collection, so I'm just going to drag and drop it into that collection. So I'm going to scale it really small, and then I'll scale it up on the Z-axis. And we want to scale it up to a specific size. So let's go here to the mesh edit mode, and we're going to turn on the edge length. And let's zoom in here. Now the problem is that it's like all overlapping, so we can't really actually see how high it's going to be, because there's all of these different edges that it's showing. So what I'm going to do instead is go back to object mode, go to the add menu, and I'm on a cube. And in edit mode, I'm going to scale the cube down. Let's bring the cube up over here. And then edit mode, I can go to wireframe. I can go to the vertex select, deselect everything, and I can just box select the top vertices, and I can bring it up on the Z-axis, and I want to make it 0.75 meters. So 0.75 meters high. 0.75 meters. You can see right there on the side it says 0.75 meters. So I'll go back to object mode and I'm going to select the bar stool, go into edit mode, and I'm going to scale it way down, bring it up here like that. Then I can bring the cube over in object mode, and I just want to make sure this is about the same size. All right, maybe box select this and bring it down the Z-axis like that. So I can go back to solid view. So there's the size that I want. So now I can select this cube and we're just going to delete the cube because we don't need it anymore. All right, so now I'm going to go into edit mode and I'm going to go to top view, and we can also turn off the edge length. So now let's hit the A key to select the entire mesh. And what I'm going to do is hit G to grab and kind of pull it out over here into this corner. And then what I can do is click on add modifier, and I can add the mirror modifier. So we're going to mirror on the X axis and also the Y axis. So now this here is going to be the center of the bar stool. So now what I'm going to do to angle it is by double tapping the R key. So double tap R and it's going to turn on the trackball rotation, and then you can hold down the shift key to make your movements more sensitive. And I want to make them all kind of tapering in there or angling towards the very center. Something like that, but I think I want to hit 7 for top view and drag it back a little bit like that, so it's a little bit farther back. All right, let's go to top view again and double tap R and just angle it a little bit more like that. And then if you want to make these thicker, you can hit Alt S. So Alt S is going to scale along the normals, so we can just make it a little bit thicker. Now the problem with this is that I don't want the top and bottom to get bigger and smaller. So if I go to the face select, I will hold down shift and select that face, and then hold down shift and deselect that face. So we want to deselect the top and bottom faces. So I can now press Alt S, and you can see it's going to make it thicker and thinner because it's being brought up or brought out along the normal, so the direction of the faces. So I'll just bring that out a little bit more, make it a bit thicker. And then if we go to top view, I'll double tap R again for the trackball rotation and then just drag it back a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is go to the add menu and we're going to add another cylinder. And for this cylinder, if I click on the add cylinder settings, this one on the vertices, I'll make it 32 vertices so it's a little bit more round. So I'll close the add cylinder settings, and in edit mode, I'm going to scale it way down, and then I can scale it down on the Z-axis. And then if I go back to object mode, I'll bring it up on the Z-axis. And then in edit mode, I'll scale it down again, just like that. And so that's going to be like the metal piece, and then we're going to be adding like a leather soft kind of cushion on the top. Let's bring that up. All right, that's good. Now right down here on the bottom, you can see that it's kind of like angled and I want to make that flat. So in edit mode, what I can do is go to the vertex select. We're going to go to wireframe. We're going to deselect everything and then just box select the bottom, and we're going to scale it on the z-axis, and we're going to type 0 and enter just so it's rotated down. So it's a bit more flat there on the bottom. And I can go back to object mode. Now, what I want to do is use the shade auto smooth so that it shades this smooth around here. But if we use the shade auto smooth, it's still going to keep this sharp. So if we just use the object context menu, we'll do shade auto smooth. So now it's just smooth around there. Now let's go over here to the top and we're going to select this object and we're going to add modifier. We're going to add a bevel modifier, and I can turn the segments up to like a 3, and then I can hold down shift and I can drag the amount and make the amount pretty small. And then what I want to do is add modifier and add the weighted normal modifier to smooth it out and to sharpen the flat faces like we've been doing before. So now what I want to do is add another cylinder for the seat cushion. So we'll go to the add menu and add a cylinder, and I'll hit Alt-G, so Alt-G will clear the location, and I'm going to bring it up on the Z-axis, and then I'll go into edit mode, and in edit mode I'm going to scale it way down so that the object size stays the same, but I can actually edit the geometry. And then we'll go back into object mode, and in object mode I'll bring it down so the origin point is there in the center. And I'll go to edit mode again and just scale it up, and then scale it down on the Z-axis, like that, bring it up. All right, so now what I want to do is make the cushion kind of bump out a little bit so it actually looks kind of soft, because this is like made out of leather and then it's, stuffed inside. So Control R, left click, and then right click so the loop stays in the center, and then I'll scale this loop out a little bit and just make it a little bit farther like that. Then I can hit Control B. So I can hit Control B to add a bevel, and I'll just scroll my mouse wheel a few times like that, click there. So now it's a little bit more round, but I think I want to make it even more round. So I can just hold down Alt and select a loop there, and then I can hit the O key to turn on proportional editing, and I can just scale everything up a little bit. All right, like that. Alt, select that loop, scale that up a little bit, so it's a little bit more round. And then if I just select everything back in edit mode, I'll scale the entire thing back down so it's the right size. And I could also scale everything up on the Z-axis a little bit, so it's a little bit thicker. So now what I want to do is kind of add like a little seam. So a little seam where kind of like the leather fabric is going to be. So let's go to the face select, and I'll select this face, and I'll hit E to extrude, and then S to scale, and you can see it's scaling the vertices which are close to it. So I'm going to hit escape. Let's turn off proportional editing, and then I can scale this down a bit. And then I'll hit E to extrude, and then S to scale it down, E to extrude and S to scale it down like that, E to extrude, S to scale like that. Now I can go to the vertex select and I can Alt select that loop. So hold down Alt, select that loop, and I can bring it up on the Z-axis a bit, maybe bring this up on the Z-axis a bit, and just make kind of a nice round cushion there. So now what I want to do is add kind of that seam. So I'm going to hit Control R to add a loop cut here, and I'm going to drag this loop over pretty close. Then what I'm going to do is go to the face select, and I'll hold down Alt and select that loop of faces, and I'll hit E to extrude, then hit escape, and then I can hit Alt S to scale along the normals, and I'll just bring that in kind of far like that. So now that we have that there, if I press Control 2, so the Control 2 on the top of your keyboard, and then use the object context menu to shade it smooth, you can now see that we have kind of that little crease in there. So it looks like maybe there was like some seams. So this was a piece of fabric like leather, and then this was another piece of leather, and so then it's kind of joined right there. And if it's going in a little bit too far, you can go back into edit mode and hit Alt S just to kind of bring it up and down. So I just want to make a nice little seam there. Now I want to make another seam, which is going to be right down here on the bottom. So in edit mode, I'll hit Control R to add a loop cut. It'd be around there, and then Control R to add another loop cut right there. And then I want to go to the face select, and I'm going to Alt select that loop of faces, and I'll hit E to extrude, hit escape, and then hit Alt S and bring that in and maybe bring it down a little bit like that. So we have another seam there, and I think this one's a little bit too thick. So if I hold down Alt and select that edge there in the vertex select or edge select, I can just bring that down a little bit more. So now you have another little edge there. Now I think that that edge was a little bit too low down, so I'm going to Alt select that loop and then Shift Alt select that loop and bring it up on the Z-axis a little bit. And then I can Shift Alt select that loop and maybe go to wireframe and Shift Alt select that loop, and then I can bring it up and scale it up a little bit. Maybe also flatten it on the Z-axis because I think it was a little bit too far down. And then I can also go into local view by hitting the / on the numpad, and this face here, I want to give that another loop. So I'm going to go to the face select this face on the bottom, and I'm going to hit I to inset. So I'm going to inset that, and that way it's a lot more round right there on the end. And maybe I can even bring it down a little. So I can hit / to go out of local view. All right, so that looks a bit better. So now I want to add like some little support pieces, which are going to be like curves, which are in a circle. So I'm going to hit Shift-C to center the 3D cursor. So I can hit Shift-A for the add menu, and I'm going to go to curve, and we're going to add the circle curve. And I'll hit Tab to go to edit mode, and I'll just scale it way down. Go back to object mode, and I'll bring it up. And then in edit mode, just scale it down like that. So now what I want to do is add a modifier to make it thick. So I'm going to click on add modifier, and I'm going to search for tube, and I'm going to add the curve to tube. And I believe this was newly added in Blender version 5.0. Now you don't have to use the curve to tube modifier. If I disable it, what you could do is go over here to the object data properties and go to the geometry here and go to bevel and then turn up this bevel depth. So if you want to do it like that, you can, but it's really easy just to add it as a modifier. I think it's a bit faster. So I'm going to add the modifier, and then what I can do is change the scale. So I can turn that down so it's about the same thickness as the legs here. And then I can also turn up the resolution. So I think maybe turning the resolution up to like, I don't know, maybe like a 25 is pretty good. I think I'd rather turn it up a bit higher even. So maybe I'll turn it up to like a 35, just so it's nice and smooth. And then in edit mode, I'll just scale it down a bit. And then I'll just change the scale to change the thickness of it. All right, I just want to have it pretty close, so it's kind of touching there. And then I'm going to hit Shift-D to duplicate in edit mode, and we'll bring it up on the Z-axis, and I'll make one which is a bit higher up. So I'll scale this one down. Now if I want to change the thickness of this one without changing the thickness of the bottom one, I can hit Alt-S. So Alt-S will also change the thickness when you have the curve selected. So I can make this one a little bit thinner, and this one here, I will deselect everything and just box select these handles, maybe bring it down a little bit farther and then scale it up a little bit. So for this one, as well as it giving more like structural support to the bar stool, I would also imagine that like if you were sitting, you would like put your feet right here, and then your legs would go up here and over here. So it'd kind of be like a basic footrest. And that's also what's really helpful about adding the humans. So if I just click here to show that human again, show that rig, I could select this and duplicate it and move it over here and just move it over like this. And if you want to, you can hit Control Tab. So Control Tab will go into pose mode, and then I could just kind of rotate this and like stick it right down there and then put the other one up right there. So I really like adding these into lots of scenes. I commonly add these characters into scenes because it really helps me to make sure I'm getting the size right. I'll hit Control Tab to go back to object mode. So there we go, you can kind of see how the scale is looking. So for now, I'm just gonna click on this button here to hide the human collection. But that is really useful for lots of different scenes when you're building up a scene to make sure you're getting the size correct. Now, right here in the outliner, I also want to select all these objects and drop them here into the bar stools collection. Now what I want to do to make this even more realistic is I'm going to add like some little like bolts right here that would screw in and connect it. So I'll just hit Shift-C to center the 3D cursor, and I'm going to be turning on a built-in Blender add-on called the Bolt Factory. So we'll click on Edit, we'll go to the Preferences, and if you go to the Add-ons tab, we're going to click here and search for Bolt, and we're going to turn on the Bolt Factory. So just check mark it, and then you can save the preferences if you want to, so it's always turned on. So now if I go to the Add menu and go to Mesh, you can see right down here we can add a bolt. So I'll just add a bolt. Let's hit the period on the numpad to zoom into it, and it's, you know, a real life scale, so it's really small. So let's click on the bolt settings. I'm just going to move myself out of the way just in case. And so what I want to do is take the bit type here, and I want to turn this to the Phillips. And that way we have kind of that classic, kind of just like regular Phillips type. Then what I want to do is I want to change the head here, and instead of head, I want to change it to cap so that it's nice and round. Then what I can do is I can change the resolution of it. So if I go down here to this div count, you can see if I change this, that's going to change the resolution. So I'll just make it like a 25. It doesn't need to be super high resolution. Now this object is really high poly, and we have a lot of mesh that we don't need. So I'm going to make the mesh lower poly. So I'm going to close the bolt settings. And now what I can do is hit Tab to go to edit mode, and I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to hit M to merge, and I'm going to merge by distance. And we're going to use the default distance mode. So the distance, if I click here on the merge by distance, this is the default distance value right next to me. So that's the distance value that I'm going to use. And so you can see it got rid of a lot of vertices here. If I hit 5 on the numpad to go to orthographic view. I can zoom in closely. So it got rid of some vertices here and made this lower poly, got rid of some vertices here, and then also we still don't need a lot of these vertices. So what I'm going to do is go to front view by hitting 1 on the numpad. I'll hold down Z and go to wireframe. I'll go to the vertex select. I'll deselect everything, and then I can click and drag just to box select the vertices here, and we can delete the vertices because we're not even going to see them. Let's go back to solid view, and I can also go to the face select, and I can alt select that loop of faces, and we'll delete the faces. And then what I can do is hit the L key with my mouse hovered over that piece, and we'll hit X, and we can delete the faces. Then I can go here to the vertex select, and I'll hold down Alt and select that loop of vertices there, and hit F to fill it. And I can also bring it up on the Z axis just to make it not quite as thick. So now I'll go back to object mode, and let's move this up here. Let's move it up here kind of into the center of the bar stool. And then what I'm going to do is use the object context menu, and I'm going to click on shade auto smooth. So it kind of smooths this out, but keeps these edges sharp. So now I'll go into edit mode and I'll select everything and I'll scale it up a bit. And I want to hit G to grab, move it over, and let's actually go back to object mode real quick and then bring it down the Z axis. And then I can go back into edit mode and I can rotate it and move it over here, and we're going to stick it right here. So you can double tap the R key to use the trackball rotation and just bring it here, kind of scale it down. And so I'm imagining that there's like a hole there. And so, you know, maybe this is like a kit that you put together when you buy the bar stool. And so you'd like screw this in and that would connect there. Maybe scale it down a little bit more. It doesn't need to be too big. So then back in object mode, what I'm going to do is add a mirror modifier to mirror it to the other sides. And since the origin point is in the center there, it'll mirror over correctly. So I'm going to click on add modifier and I'm going to add a mirror modifier, and we're going to mirror on the X and Y axis. So there we go. It's on the other sides. So now let's just kind of finish this. So just place it where you want. That's pretty good. So now I'll hit Shift D to duplicate and bring it up on the Z axis, bring it up right there. And then we'll go into edit mode. We'll bring it over and we're just going to stick this in the same spot, but for the top one. All right, place it right there, go back to object mode, and I'll hit Control S to save. So the modeling is now finished. Let's do the materials. So that's how you create this bar stool in Blender, and if you'd like to check out the full course on creating this realistic kitchen interior, then I'll have the product links in the description. But I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.